And good evening, ladies and gentlemen, from Doherty High School here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. We welcome you to the 2010 Metro Championships. Alongside Chris Berger and Mitch Hall, I'm Jason Bryant. We're bringing you all the action. And we're going to start out here at 103 pounds. And it's going to be a good one, guys.
You know, it sure is, Jason. We're starting out maybe the best match of the meet with how good these guys are at 103 in their ranking. And Chris, why don't you give us a little heads up on that?
Jordan and AJ are both ranked number one. Jordan ranked number one in 5A. AJ ranked number one in 3A. This should be a tremendous matchup.
Reese comes in as the 4 seed, and he strikes first with a first takedown over the talented kid from Pine Creek, Jordan Martinez, and kicks him free. So a 2-1 lead for Reese. Here in the early going, 1:25 to go, first period at 1:03.
Yeah, you could very well see, as you saw in the rankings, these guys in the state finals at their respective divisions. Of course, Jordan Martinez at 5A, AJ Reese in the 3A division.
Now, Mitch, this is the 10th year of the event, hosted by USA Wrestling. It's something our office does for the local Colorado Springs community. And in your recent memory, your son wrestled in here and won this tournament in the past. And have you remembered a team score so close? It's 1 point going into the finals between Coronado and Pine Creek.
Well, what's amazing about this is you could almost set the record in scoring and take second place in this tournament with the way it is. We've never had more than 2 teams break 200. We have 3 right now over 200. Coronado, Pine Creek, and basically a dead heat, 1 point apart, and found Fort Carson in third. And here you've got the almost a fireman's kind of what Jordan Martinez does an awful lot. He came off of that, got the takedown of 2. Now he's in the lead 3-2.
3-2, 22 seconds remaining first period, and we saw Jordan Martinez hit that fireman's, that Kelly series, depending on which region of the country you are from, with great succession in his fall victory in the semifinals over Devin Cruz of Coronado. And actually, this is where Pine Creek really dominated and took a lead going into the finals, and then Coronado's upperweights came through and took the lead after all the matches. So the finals will be decided right here in the last 14 matches.
Yeah, end of the first period now, a 3-2 score. But Chris, give a little history with these guys, because there's more than just matching up here today. The top 3 guys really see each other a lot.
The top 3 guys in this weight class all train together at the youth club level. They know each other very well, and when Jordan Martinez caught Devin Cruz and put him on his back for the fall, it was quite a surprise to not only Jordan, but Devin as well, and all the fans.
You're watching the 2010 Metro Championships, the Colorado Springs Metro League Championships, brought to you by Front Range Orthopedics and USA Wrestling. Back to action here, second period, 1:50 to go. A 3-2 lead for Jordan Martinez of Pine Creek in the green anklet and the black, well, actually the more the navy blue and green singlet, while Discovery Canyon, AJ Reese in the purple. This period did start neutral.
You know, Jordan Martinez has, there's a family history here too, with his brothers all being outstanding wrestlers. There's going to be another Martinez coming up for Pine Creek, who's no relation, who's had an outstanding career himself, multiple-time All-American in USA Wrestling events. There he goes back into that fireman's that I saw him use an awful lot. Obviously his favorite move, but I don't think any surprise to AJ.
No, AJ and Jordan know each other very well. Jordan has been hitting that Kelly series for the last 2 days. He's used it very effectively.
We've got less than a minute left here, still 3-2.
As far as the team scores goes, Pine Creek coming in second place, 1 point behind Coronado. Discovery Canyon in 7th, 1 point behind Falcon, who is in 6th. We'll give you a team score update as the finals go on. And in case you're wondering at home how high school team scoring works in the finals, this is 4+ bonus, so the max you can score here in the finals is 6 points, with a fall giving you 2 bonus points, a technical fall 1.5, and a major decision 1. And now you see Reese in on a leg, trying to scoop and drop down Martinez to the mat. Martinez scrambling, goes back to that inside leg.
We've got 23 seconds left here. This is pretty good position if Martinez can get up, but they're very close to the edge of the mat. I'm not sure. This could go the other way now for AJ Reese.
He's got the leg thrown in. Does he have control up top?
I think it's a very good call, no call right now by the referee here.
5 seconds, 3, 2, and 1. So no scoring in that period. So it's going to be a 3-2 lead for Jordan Martinez of Pine Creek over A.J. Reeves of Discovery Canyon as we go to the third, and Reeves will have the choice, and he's going to go neutral. No? What do we got? The referee looked over at Reeves saying it was his choice. The Pine Creek coach is saying, no, it's ours. So Martinez will start down in the third period. Here at 103 pounds, this is our first final at the Colorado Springs Metro Championships, the 10th year we've had this event, and oddly enough, there's only been 4 teams that have won it.
And that won't change this year because the 2 in the race have won this event already. Pine Creek last year.
At the beginning of this period, Jordan Martinez chose down. AJ put him up anyway. They went right to their feet. He gave him the escape to try and take him down to score, to tie it up.
Yeah, it's 4-2 now. People recognize that wasn't just a neutral call. It was a choice. You can do that now. Just put them on, give them their point, and start wrestling.
That is a rule change that happened about 2 or 3 years ago in the NFHS. And now with 90 seconds to go, third period, Reese is going to have to do something to try to tie it up as Jordan Martinez holding the 4-2 advantage. As we said, 1:23 remaining. Third period here at Doherty High School in Colorado Springs for the 2010 Metro Championships.
Great job controlling the elbow that time, getting the single, but couldn't get quite deep enough. The length of A.J. Reese got his leg back away. We're still neutral.
1:05 to go. Reese hanging on the front headlock. Now goes to the underhook. Has double unders. Trying to clear his hands. Now snapping on the head is Martinez. And Mitch, what's the strategy here? You got a 2-point lead with a minute to go. You don't have a stall call. What do you think?
You got to keep your hand low to keep the guy from getting clean shot on you. It's very, very hard to get 2 penalty points in about 45 seconds. He does have great position. Again, nice clear of that single leg into a double. I read what he's got for one of his favorite wrestlers is Lee Kemp. That's not a lot different there. Lee would take a shot and would score. A great role model, 3-time world champion. Happened to be my roommate in college, and
you had to throw that one in there.
Yeah, absolutely did. Because I learned I trained with Lee, learned an awful lot, and what a great role model to be looking to. But that was a great shot there, wasn't it, Chris?
That was a fantastic shot, especially with the lead.
And with 10 seconds to go, it could be it.
You didn't want to give up the 2, and he won on the offense.
Well, as you said, Mitch, you wanted to stay in good position, but he didn't sit back and defend. He went on the offensive attack. Now a 4-point cushion, 4 seconds to go in the third period. So barring a major calamity, and we don't see one in the last 2 and 1. So your champion at 103 pounds from Pine Creek, Jordan Martinez, and that's going to put Pine Creek back in the lead, 267 to 264. Oh boy, what fun this is.
Yeah, I sure hope we've got 13 more like this one. These are 2 great wrestlers. They're going to be a force at the state tournament this year.
All the way up and down the line. They should be fine getting to the state championships. They should get to their respective finals.
Now we're going to the 112-pound weight class this year. We're going to go...
before we do, guys, is a shot of the team scores as you see how close it is between first and second. Fountain Fort Carson really improving, taking third, and you see Air Academy followed by Widefield, a former past champion of this tournament. Falcon, Discovery Canyon, Mesa Ridge, Rampart, and Lewis Palmer. So we're set to go here at 112 pounds. Meet Garrett Eastup from Manitou Springs and Josh Martinez of Pine Creek. Here in the first period, first 5 seconds underway. You'll see Martinez in the green anklet for Pine Creek, just like the other Martinez, Jordan, who just won it. And he quickly strikes first with a takedown. Great offense early going.
He got hard on the head there, got Eastup out of his position, and was able to score.
These are the tournament's 2 top seeds. Martinez has had very little problem, has 2 falls and a major decision, while Eastup had a very tough 3-0 win over Adrian Cordova of Coronado in the semifinals.
And Martinez came into Pine Creek this year having transferred in from Washington, a 3-time high school All-American for USA Wrestling. He was 2 in freestyle, right?
Yes, sir. Two freestyle All-Americans at Fargo and 1-time Greco.
So a name some of you folks that might be watching from around the country here on the mat.com might recognize and wonder where he went. Right now, he's holding a 4-1 lead with under a minute to go. First period over Garrett Eastup of Manitou Springs here at 112.
And this double arm bar is tight.
Oh, shades of Lou Ruggarello there, Mitch. Oh, wait, actually, I'm from out east.
Yeah, I was going to say, whoever that is, Jason, fine.
He was a high school national champ from New York. He wrestles for Hofstra. Likes to pin people with a double bar. Now driving out of bounds here with 33 seconds to go, first period.
But he's not giving Eastep any room to move. He came up, he drove him right out of bounds, took down Eastep this year concentrating on wrestling. Last year, some people around here know that he wrestled for Manitou Springs, and when he finished that practice, he went and played hockey for Coronado.
Got the leg thrown in now, trying to cross face over. With the claw ride. Well, with the claw grip, Mitch. What's the... looks like he loses the leg. Still got it in there a little bit, but now it's back to his base.
Yep, 15 seconds left here in the period. We've got a 4-1 lead. Quite dominant right now. Great position on top. I don't see anybody or Eastep being able to come out of this.
No, Eastep has been on the defensive since the opening whistle, and Martinez has just had him covered.
Into the first period, 4-1 lead. Toss will go to Martinez. He's going to choose neutral. So it's something I know folks out east, I know where I was raised, we're pretty much taking down, getting that point every time. Plus, we like to wrestle from the bottom out there, too.
Yeah, it's a little more boring. Here we get these guys on their feet, have some action.
Appreciate that, Mitch.
And as talented as Martinez is, absolutely no reason that he would go down here. As dominant as he's been, I think you're going to see him try to take that single leg again. Eastep doing a better job here, keeping a little bit lower, keeping his head in the way, heavy on the hands there.
Martinez was the champion at this tournament last year at 103 pounds, looking to become the 15th two-time champion of the Metro. We've had a couple three-timers, and no four-timers as yet, but perhaps we might see that change in about 3-4 years.
Yep, we just opened the door for that at the first weight class.
Yes, we did, with our first freshman champion at 103.
1:08 to go, second period. Nothing doing, so we'll stalemate and go back to the restart here at neutral. Garrett Eastep in the black and gold for Manitou Springs. Josh Martinez of Pine Creek holding a 4-1 lead here in the second period.
That was, again, Eastep shot in but left his elbow out. Martinez just got underneath, whipped him over, almost tight enough to take him over and put him on his back there, though the flexibility of Eastep kept him from turning. Now we're back on our feet.
Martinez kicks Eastep out, so a 6-2 lead, 35 seconds remaining, second period here at 112. In case you're wondering geographically, Manitou Springs right up there near the Garden of the Gods, and now a 2-point takedown for Martinez, as we've got some folks from all around the country focusing here on Colorado Springs and the 2010 Metro Championships presented by Front Range Orthopedics and USA Wrestling.
Martinez back to the bar. He's been working that most of the first period, and now he's getting it after it here in the second.
Under 10 to go. Choice will go to Eastep in the third.
And those of you who want to know where Pine Creek is, that's up right there on the north side of town next to the Pine Creek Golf Course. A much more important landmark than the Garden of the Gods.
Well, Mitch, what's your handicap?
My swing.
My handicap's my driver.
Yeah.
So we are now into the start of third period, 8-2 lead. Now this comes into play here because an 8-point decision gives them another additional points, a pin, 2, and as close as this is, these extra points are going to matter. Now we are up 10-2. That does give the major for an additional points. We'll see if he can get the pin. That'll give him 2 more points. We are in a tight race, and in fact, Pine Creek has 7 finalists. They are the higher seed in 4 of them. Coronado has 6 finalists. They're the higher seed in 5. So we're really matched up pretty evenly with Pine Creek having 1 more to play with.
Oh! Pancake getting 2, and now the near fall count. So you're right, Mitch. He's looking for bonus points as he kicked him out. 12-3. Now we got a potentially dangerous situation. So we got how many near fall? So now
we'll see what
2-2. So it'll be 14-3 with 1:17 to go. I guess they stopped it with the arm got too high and pulled it off the body.
Yeah, now he's looking over at Coach Gable here to see what choice they're going to want him to do.
Coach Gable?
That's right. We're just going to stop there. He's gonna try to switch and lift him and take him to his back off the deck. He's got a little over a minute left here. I don't know how long he'll stay on top if he can't turn him.
Because right now the team score difference is 4 points, and as we said at the beginning of the broadcast, 4 points is what you get for a finals victory. 1 extra for a major decision, 1.5 for a technical fall, and of course 2 for the fall. Here under a minute to go, 14-3, and Josh Martinez in control, looking to become the 15th two-time champion. We could also have another two-time champion tonight, and we'll probably lose our broadcast partner as a result.
Yeah, the 152-pound, that features my son. I'm looking forward to that one.
So we'll talk more about that as the weights come up, but with 30 seconds to go, a 14-3 lead for Josh Martinez of Pine Creek. Here at 112 pounds.
I'm surprised they're still working, trying to turn him here, but now with only 20 seconds left, this may be the best option to try to get the extra, another extra half point here with the major. He's got a 14-3 lead. He would need 4 points here, which is not going to happen. We're going to end up with a major decision to give extra points for Pine Creek to widen the lead here going into the next match.
And that'll do it. So a 14-3 major decision for your champion at 112 pounds from Pine Creek High School, Josh Martinez.
Pine Creek High School, Josh Martinez.
We'll wait to see what the format is here, Mitch. Do we wrestle a bunch and then go to awards?
We're going to go 7 through. We're going to go all the way through 7 weights, then do the awards after that.
Well, that's quite interesting. And while we have a chance to, before we start here at 119 pounds, let's talk about some of the past champions here at the Metro. Actually, those are the team scores, which we'll update next. But Widefield won the first 2, then our host Doherty won the next 2. Widefield took it again in 2005. Then we started to see the power struggle change, with Pine Creek winning 3 of the last 4 and Coronado sneaking in there in 2008. So it's going to be one of either the 2 teams, Pine Creek or Coronado tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah, and both of those teams ranked very highly in the state. We got Coronado is actually the one that's ranked the highest. They're ranked 2nd. Pine Creek is ranked 5th at 5A.
Here at 119 pounds, we'll meet Jacob Mondragon of Fountain Fort Carson and Alex Smith of Pine Creek, the 3rd straight Pine Creek wrestler we've seen. Here in the early going, 15 seconds gone by, period number 1.
Yeah, Mondragon is from Fountain Fort Carson, is the higher seeded one here, 3rd seed, but he's ranked 16th at 5A. And Alex Smith, it was the 4th seed, but he's ranked 12th at 5A. And while we're talking about the rankings here,
3 and 4 seeds.
Chris, I mean, on the mat rankings with Tim Yount is I would say, from what I've seen, maybe the best ranking system in the country for a state.
Tim Yount does a tremendous job. He ranks 4 classes, 14 weight classes, 15 and 20 wrestlers deep. I don't think there's another state in the union that has that much coverage or that type of ranking system.
Well, guys, I'll take it from my experience doing the Virginia rankings as Smith is in on a leg. I only went 8 deep, and I only had 1 class. And we split them up through a couple different rankings, people. But Tim Yount does a great job, and the first 2 is going to go to Alex Smith of Pine Creek.
And according to Tim's rankings, even though Alex is lower seed, he would be the one favored in this match. But Tim Yount it's amazing, and he's basically a national teams director with the triathlon. He's got a full-time job. This becomes full-time, and he does a great job. And I read a lot of the stuff on how he ranks it, but the one thing he does get every so often, when you rank that many, you've got some upset people, like some parents and that will give him a call once in a while. But I'd just like to say to Mom and Dad, don't call him. He's usually right.
Who uses the phone? You got to use the email. That's how you get a hold of them. We've been getting Tim Yount's on the mat rankings around the country for years. I know when I was coordinating the high school rankings at Intermat, that was my source when I needed information on Colorado wrestlers. So,
in fact, I know in 2005 where I was paying attention to him a lot closer in the 5A state finals of the 14 weights, he picked 13 of the 14 state champions, and the other guy he had 2nd. So he does know his stuff. Here we are in a tight position. It's 2-0. All he's going to have to do is hold on to this for 6 more seconds. There won't be any score. He'll keep the 2-0 lead. Nice switch up there. 2-0 now with the lead going into the 2nd period for Smith over Mondragon.
Smith has a choice and will defer. Mondragon will start down, and Mondragon had a solid 7-2 victory in the semifinals over Lorenzo Rodriguez of Harrison. That was 7-2, and it was the 3 and 2 seed, so Mondragon was the 3 seed. And actually, that was a close match until he broke it open with 5 points late in the third period. Now, Smith just dominated the top seed, Robert Pragine of Widefield. Tech fall 15-0 after getting a fall and a decision.
Well, there's a
switch situation.
That was a nice switch, but you've got Smith holding onto the leg.
He needs to cross-face hard here, does he not, Mitch?
Yeah, we'll see when they... Yeah, he finally broke that. Now we'll see what Fort Carson does, because Coach James, the Fountain Fort Carson coach, loves to work the wrist tilt. And they see this as a team, and it looks like Mondragon's going right into that.
And geographically, as we talk about different terminology, Mitch and I, we were talking about the different names for it, the Mason tilt, the Hazard tilt, the Fairfax roll, a couple different things. And, well, we got a scramble situation. Mondragon,
he got a count, but he didn't hold him there long enough. Now I'm going to...
Still no control, and now there's the 2 for Smith. So a 4-2 lead for Alex Smith. Under a minute to go, second period, here at 119 pounds. Smith of Pine Creek leading Jacob Mondragon of Fountain Fort Carson. Stall warning on Mondragon, his first, with 42 to go. Up to his feet is Mondragon, trying to kick out, sitting back on the head, spinning the other way. Now reverses direction.
He might be able to spin through on this if he can get his foot.
If he's got to carry Cole that Gumby knee, he might be able to do it.
Referee Steve DeLeon has a good look at that knee. He's keeping an eye on, and there's the stall call.
Yep.
The first one on Smith.
Yeah, instead of calling that a stalemate, Smith, he was not trying to improve his position. He was trying to hold there. Good call. We've got the restart for Mondragon with 22 seconds left. This is important. He's got to get some points here.
On the restart, 21 seconds ago, second period. Alex Smith on top, looking for Pine Creek's third individual championship of the night. And while individual titles are great, there still is that team component in wrestling, and especially in high school wrestling.
Yeah, this is important here. And he holds on to him. 1 point,
That's not going to happen. He got to switch close to the edge and couldn't quite finish. So good flurry of action at the end of both periods, and we'll go to the third period. And Smith with choice, and will start down. 4-2 lead. Period number 3, 119 here at Doherty High School in Colorado Springs, Colorado, for the 2010 Metro Championships presented by Front Range Orthopedics and USA Wrestling.
And Chris, we've talked about, again, the international styles, getting yourself better again. And you've got a freshman here with Alex Smith in the finals, and a lot to do with doing, wrestling younger, getting involved with the USA Wrestling stuff, and going out to Fargo for the Cadet and Junior Nationals.
Oh, right to the 2-on-1. Can he roll him through? Mondragon had it tight. Smith stood up, went right to the 2-on-1 off the stand-up. Couldn't quite keep it close enough to the body, Mitch, and now he's back to it. Got a leg in, and almost not quite a leg Turk scenario, but he's still got the leg pinned.
This might be stalemated if he can improve on this. But it's awful tight. I don't know how Smith is going to be able to get up as long as Mondragon keeps that leg crossed.
If Mondragon gets that elevated, he's working a Turk on the other side, and there's your stalemate call.
That actually is better for Mondragon. He's got to score here. He's got a minute and 22 to do it. It does help Smith get a free start, but Mondragon wasn't going to be able to do that. Smith too flexible.
Well, as we saw in the restart last time, he went right to it. Let's see if he does it again. Tries to trap the arm. Nope. Smith up wide. Now he's got it again. He's going to try to roll him through. Can he keep him in bounds? Nope, out of bounds. So that's definitely where Mondragon wants to score his points here. 1:16 remaining. Period number 3 at 119 pounds.
Mondragon looks over to Coach Chris James for some instructions before they start again. I think he wants him to keep after that arm for that trap.
On the restart. Smith slower to get up this time. Now clears his hands. Needs to clear the grip of Mondragon. Switches directions. Flattening out. Now he's got the leg.
Again, we have 1 minute left. Smith does not have to score here. He's just got to keep Mondragon from scoring on him. He's got a hold of that single leg, He's being very careful with it. Mondragon now gets it clear, comes around behind. We've got 45 seconds still. 4-2 lead, Smith over Mondragon.
Mondragon now working on high, trying to create some separation. And now there's a 2-on-1 tilt. There's a stall warning on Smith and 1 point awarded. 4-3. I never actually saw the first stall, guys, but I guess there was. Tries that roll through again. Smith nearly caught him, and Mondragon still has that arm trap with 26 to go. Now, which way is he going to roll? Because if he rolls one way, he's going to go out of bounds. That's not what he wants to do with a 2-on-1 grip.
Don't be so
stall warning on.
Yeah. I was just saying, don't be so sure he won't pull it again.
Well, he called stalling on top. He had the red. I don't know if I agree with that call, gentlemen. Thoughts, reflections?
As an official myself, I am not going to.
You are playing politics, sir, and I understand why.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm surprised on that call.
Caution red, his first. That's caution on Mondragon. Definitely got the crowd into it there, guys. Some of the fans here didn't seem to appreciate the call.
Yeah, Steve DeLeon, the head referee, just felt he wasn't improving it, but boy, when you got a wrist in making that kind of effort, it may not make any difference. He has not been able to turn it.
Oh, he tries to suck it back the other way. We have a 1 count. Oh, it's not going to be enough in a flurry of action. And Alex Smith of Pine Creek going to fight off a tough Jacob Mondragon and win the championship. 3rd straight of the night for Pine Creek. 5-3, and what a match, gentlemen.
And another freshman for Pine Creek.
Fantastic match, gentlemen. Fantastic match.
Yeah, that was a freshman and a sophomore. We will see both of these guys again in these finals in the future.
Absolutely. Jacob Mondragon as a sophomore has another couple shots at it, and with Smith coming in as a freshman winning his first title, we've got a couple of Pine Creek kids that have a chance at 4.
Now let's see what that does with our team score situation. Now 276 to 264 after 119. So Pine Creek, this is what we kind of expected, though. They're really good down low, while up high, that's where Coronado is king.
Carter McElhaney here is the start of the upper weight Coronado train that is going to come through here pretty quick. They've got a bunch of guys coming up that could really turn the table.
At 125 pounds, this is the first matchup between our two top teams. The top seed, Carter McElhaney, 15-1 coming into the tournament, has added 3 more falls. Picked up 2 second-period falls and a first-period fall in the semis to advance, while Jerry McGinty, a sophomore, double leg by McGinty, trying to lift up and driving out of bounds. Oh, wow. If that were Division I college wrestling, they'd have let that one go.
Yep, a little bit of a surprise there. McGinty got in on a nice shot. McElhaney certainly heavily favored in this one. This is the only matchup in the finals between Pine Creek and Coronado, and this is one that certainly Coronado's got to count on. If it did go the other way, it pretty well would seal it for Pine Creek winning this tournament.
Pretty much this could lock it up for Pine Creek if McGinty were to pull it off. Carter is heavily favored. He is a USA Wrestling All-American in Fargo. He was 5th in Cadet Nationals in Greco, and we were talking about that earlier, Mitch, that the summer wrestling makes winter champions. Well, here they are on the mat.
Yeah, there seems to be already a pretty consistent theme about that of not only winning but getting into the finals here, because this is a great competition. We've got 3 of the top-ranked teams in the state. We've got a lot of other great individuals. You've got to do something different than the other guy is if you expect to win. There's a nice shot reshot actually by McElhaney to score the takedown.
First points on the board go to Connor McElhaney. A 2-0 lead, 35 seconds to go.
As a junior, Carter's going for his second title here. He's looking potentially to become one of the 3-time Metro champions.
Pretty good list of 3-timers, as you mentioned it. Gabe Burak of Coronado, Chris Branch of Doherty, Cole Nash of Coronado, Corey Johnson of Pine Creek, Ethan Martinez of St. Mary's, and Gabriel Martinez of St. Mary's, and then Pine Creek. So those are your 3-time champs, and right now Gabe Burak, currently wrestling for the University of Pennsylvania, or simply Penn or UPenn, while also younger brother Micah has won this tournament. And then there's another Burak we'll see in the finals later. Same high school, and of course those watching around the country, 10 seconds to go here in the period, might recognize Coronado also as the high school Olympic champion Henry Cejudo attended his final 2 years of high school after moving to the Olympic Training Center. 2-1. So at the end of the first period here at 1:25, Carter McElhaney of Coronado holding a 2-0 advantage over Jerry McGinty of Pine Creek.
Yeah, this is one that, even though we're talking about a sophomore here with McGinty being 29-4, Coronado may look at this as a weight where they would possibly even get bonus points, because McElhaney's been third and second in the state championships. He is a very experienced wrestler.
IC drops off, doubles off with the legs, and puts McGinty in trouble. Gets 2 on the takedown, did he get too near fall? Wow, he called it from afar, so a 6-0 lead. Stall warning now on bottom on McGinty. So quickly, this one's opened up in favor of Carter McElhaney of Coronado.
As experienced as McElhaney is, McGinty is also very experienced in the summer wrestling program. He was on Team Colorado for the cadet dual team this summer that we took to Rochester, Minnesota.
Rochester, Minnesota is a great town. If you go up the river, you can go to Wabasha and have a walleye sandwich at Slippery's, home of Grumpy Old Men. 1:18. Here to go, second period. Carter McElhaney of Coronado holding a 6-0 lead over Jerry McGinty of Pine Creek. As Mitch, you said earlier, this is the only matchup between our top 2 teams of individuals in the finals. How's the bar?
He's got the bar. This is tight here. This is tight. He's got a whole minute with this. If he can sit this back, we could get 6 points out of this for Coronado.
Close. There's the fall. At 3:02, Carter McElhaney gets the fall for Coronado. And this team score getting closer again. That's 6 more. So 276 for Pine Creek, 270 now for Coronado. So that was huge in terms of the team score. Oh boy, that's our first fall of the night. Mitch, as you said, with our first match, we were hoping to get 13 more matches like we did at 103. We've seen some exciting matches here all the way through 125 here to kick off the 2010 Metro Championships.
Yeah, this has been a great final. Probably the best, up till now, the best finals I've seen here at this tournament. A lot of action, and very accomplished wrestlers all the way up too, with the international styles of wrestling experience with the USA Wrestling events that they take advantage of. Even if they're not wrestling in it, these guys are part of a club, getting themselves better with the Falcon Club. I know Pine Creek has, and there's several. The Coronado. There's a reason why all of these are all up near the top. In fact, Found Fort Carson and Chris James has made a big effort there to step that up to compete with these teams through having a summer spring club.
Chris James does a tremendous job with the program down at Fountain Fort Carson. And Nick Adams here in the purple. Nick Adams wrestles for the Thunder Wrestling Club, and he is also one of the summer wrestling Olympic styles. He participates with all the other kids all summer long.
And Nick Adams has looked really, really tough through this tournament. He had an outstanding finals last year with Carter McElhaney. In fact, it was right at the end that Carter ended up winning that, or we could be looking at Adams at a shot at 4 of these.
Absolutely.
First 2 points on the board go to Nick Adams here with 1:30 to go, first period. And Mitch, when we were watching Adams wrestle in the semifinals, you said that this is a kid that has a lot of the D1 tools and the ability to wrestle at the next level.
Yeah, and a lot of, in fact, you'll see if you were to watch him and Carter, you see a lot of the same. In fact, they train a lot together.
Yes, they do. They train together. They have the same type of style, and it's a solid fundamental style. You're not going to be flashy, and you're not going to have a lot of what the kids call the funk, but they are solid, very accomplished wrestlers.
What you want to look at, and when I was coaching in college, what I wanted to see was, I wanted to see their position. And they both carry good position. You want to see their offensive attack. Do they have, I'd just be happy if they had a single and a high crotch and they were hitting it with explosion. Not the slow barrel rolls or the wrist rides. I want to see some athletic ability. These guys have it. And just watch the way they attack, the way they control on top. There's a great mat sense about Nick Adams. Carter's the same way.
Both of them have a very nice, tight stance. You're not going to see them break that stance. That position is huge on their feet, and it helps them tremendously in the takedown position. When they're neutral, it's hard to score on them, and when they take their shots, they're solid shots set up well.
And just got to point out with these two guys, they're out here. Nick Adams got a 3.4 grade point average, which is still below John Wilson's, who's competing against at a 3.8. So two great students here also.
As we start the period, Wilson was put up by Adams, so now a 2-1 lead for Adams of Discovery Canyon, just a junior.
There we go. See a nice high crotch shot there. Great position. And pulled him back in instead of letting that go out of bounds to get the point. That's great mat sense right there.
Knowing where you are, once you get up, you've got to be able to finish inside the circle.
Now a 4-2 lead, under a minute to go, first period. Adams in on a leg again.
Great single leg. Now watch, he keeps a great position on the leg, trips the far one. Good, solid finish. You're right. You know, Nick, with it, it's not flashy, but it's what wins at every level.
Absolutely.
Now getting here, Adams was the tournament's top seed and beat Dusty Solis of Coronado 15-3 in the semifinals, while Wilson actually had a tight match going into the third period with Clinton Husband of Mesa Ridge, and ended up being a 14-7 victory for Wilson, getting a bunch of points. And now we see another bar situation here, Mitch.
Yeah, high school guys, a lot of these guys have great flexibility, and that makes it very difficult to turn in this situation. Whereas you take the next level with college, and you get a lot stronger. But when you get something like that locked, it's you're going to turn somebody over. Here, just the youth and flexibility keeps that from happening. But he gets that again and adjusts it, he will turn it.
Well, while we got some blood time here on the mat, we'll let you wrestling fans know the next 2 weekends here will be top international action at the U.S. Olympic Training Center. On Saturday, January 30th, see the Greco-Roman team battle 4 foreign teams at the Kit Carson Cup. And on Thursday, February 4th through Saturday, February 6th, see all 3 U.S. national teams in action at the Dave Schultz Memorial International. That's the Kit Carson Cup in Greco-Roman in all 3 styles at the Dave Schultz. The next 2 weekends here in Colorado Springs at the Olympic Training Center. More information on that can be found at themat.com. Brought to you by USA Wrestling.
That's going to be a great event, Jason. We've got a lot of great foreign teams coming over. China's coming with all 3 delegations. Uzbekistan, Japan, Canada's got some great guys coming in. We've got several other countries, Bulgaria. There's probably a dozen foreign teams coming in. It'll be a great competition.
And with the Kit Carson Cup, we got Japan, China, Uzbekistan, and Bulgaria going to be competing. So there's the lift with 3, 2, and 1. So the first period will end with Nick Adams of Discovery Canyon. I must say that is a great name for a high school. I would like to go to Discovery Canyon High School. It just sounds cool.
And their mascot is the Thunder.
Well, I can live without that. No, I'm just kidding. Don't want to offend our folks here in Colorado Springs. It's just a cool name, and it's been a great tournament so far. USA Wrestling staff been putting on this thing for 10 years. Had a march of past champions beforehand. Now back to action.
Yep. Nice short sit turn under there to come out front. Now we've got the heavy on the head with the front headlock. I think he's going to look to try to bury that head under and go to the corner like he's there. And I expect he's going to get this because he's doing a great job of changing directions on that.
He's got him moving back and forth. He just tried to shuck him by. He's got behind and he scored before they go out of bounds.
Nope.
Oh, he did give him, referee Andy Nelson did give him points.
2 and 1, and we'll go to blood time again. So now 8-3 the lead for Nick Adams. As you hear announcer Cody Bickley, our National Coaches Education Program guru, explaining to the fans here in Doherty High School, right on Barnes, if you're familiar with the Colorado Springs area. Mitch, I'll be honest with you, I drove by this school by accident last week. I've only been here a month, hadn't had a chance to really see the sights yet. I do know where Manitou Springs is, and I know where Doherty is, so we're working on seeing all these 20-something teams in the metro area that are in this tournament. I think we had 25 this year in the event.
Yep, nearly every school in the community area is participating. I think we're maybe missing one, and we're getting to the point where this is such a big tournament that we may not be able to host it at a high school. It's with 4 mats. We went to 10 o'clock last night. It's turned right back around at 9 a.m. this morning. It's 45 more wrestlers than last year, 90 more matches. It's just been a great tournament, and you're going to see many of these guys in the state championships placing, and I expect to have multiple state champions out of this tournament.
It's a nice mix of classes here. These two right here, Nick is a 3A, and
Adam's looking for a fall. Don't mean to interrupt you guys, but we got two on the takedown and two on the near fall, and we got blood time again. So you can continue your thought now.
Well, the kids here, they mostly know each other. They train during the summer together, but when it comes to going to high school and coming to the Metro Championships, there's bragging rights on the line. And between Coronado and Pine Creek in the 5A, you've got the Discovery Canyon 3A, some of the toughest kids in the state in their respective divisions, but they want to beat each other. They want to win this tournament.
Yeah, this, as Jason was pointing out, this is the 10th year. USA Wrestling got involved because we were looking for something to do with the wrestling community, and notice, there's no real city champion, and we were talking, the first thing I ever won was a conference title, and that's still important. I look way back, that was the first thing. Well, we didn't have anything for the community here, so this is where we felt we could help out. This has been a really project that's been fun for us, and it's been great to be part of the community, to elevate this, the kind of coverage it gets in the paper. It's been outstanding. It's been great for these kids, and you start talking to them about this. This is an important thing for them to win this Metro Championship.
You're not going to get any state seeding points out of it, and you're not going to get any regional seeding points out of it, but boy, they want to win it.
Now, actually, one thing I've been meaning to ask is, we talked about Tim Yount's on-the-mat rankings. Now, in Colorado, how do the state seeding points work per division? You have to wrestle each guy from your class? Is that how it works? It's class-specific?
They break it down into, each class has 4 regions. They take the top 4 from each region, and they move on to the state championship. They are seeded by the previous year's state finish. So if you are a previous year placer, you're going to get one of the top 4 seeds. After that, you're drawn in.
And that's only if you're the regional champion. If you had won the state tournament the year before, lost in the regional finals, you get no credit for that. As far as it's how high each of those 4 have placed will separate those individuals, which is a very basic, but I think a fair way to do it. It does keep past high placers apart from each other if they're coming back at that weight.
1 minute to go, second period after the blood time restart. Nick Adams of Discovery Canyon holding a 12-3 lead over John Wilson of Rampart. Team score situation, this could actually vault Discovery Canyon into 6th place. They're 1 point behind Falcon. So at this rate, 5 more points would do that. Rampart sitting in 9th. They can actually overtake Mesa Ridge. They have another finalist later in the night. Discovery Canyon's Nick Adams working on top in the purple. He's the green anklet in control.
And he's certainly dominating on top. This is again, you look at his position, he's just not making mistakes.
It's going to be awful hard for Wilson to come back on Adams with a 12-3 lead.
What also impacts is the blood time. The match has been stopped for several times because of blood, and that's also kept Adams from getting a rhythm and Wilson really from getting anything defensively. Now Adams on the restart with 19 to go, second period. As the bar was reaching for the inside wrist. Now goes with the half.
See, now this is a better option for him. Flexibility can't come into play there when you've got that heavy of a half.
Short time, he got 2 near fall, and now Wilson comes around. 2 and 2, so
and
2 in the near fall.
The reversal right at the end.
So it's going to be 14-5. Heading into the third period. And we've got blood time again. It's 2 minutes and 22 seconds of blood time. Unlike college, there is a 5-minute limit on blood time, so we're at under half of that, or over half of that being used, rather, depending on the clock counting down. You'd think the other way. Coming up next at 135 pounds, we'll see Richie Bailey of Falcon and Ben Molina of Pine Creek. So Pine Creek, a name you guys out around the country and here in Colorado Springs are getting used to hearing on this broadcast. Now, you guys were talking about bragging rights. Obviously, Chris, you've got a son that's in the finals tonight. He'd won this tournament before. Mitch, your son won this tournament, and actually you were telling me the story about the state champion matchup, and we actually saw one of the former champions, Jesse Feinsod, walking out here out of wrestling out of New Mexico Highlands. So basically, you guys have had kids that win this thing. What's it like as a parent?
Well, it's fun because they've marked this as something that's important to them. And in Kalen's case, Jesse and Kalen in finals, it was an outstanding match. Jesse went on win 2 state titles in the 4A. Kalen won it in the 5A. Jesse a 4-time placer, and he's still wrestling right now at New Mexico Highlands, having a really great college career. And this tournament has been kind of a launching pad for a few people.
For me, with my son Nick, he won it last year as a sophomore at 145 pounds. He'll be coming up against an ex 152-pound past champion. So we've got a matchup of champions at 152 from last year.
Well, as we said coming in, there are 4 returning champions from last year, and 2 of them happen to be at 152. So, it's a pretty good weight when you got half of the champions in one weight.
And I think you're going to see more returning next year, because right now we're up to 100. When we get to 135, the next weight, that's the first weight where we've got 2 seniors facing each other. The rest there's been a couple of seniors, and the rest of them mostly underclassmen.
Garrett Eastup was a senior out of Manitou Springs, and at 112, which is actually not a senior laden weight, basically across the country, except unless maybe you go to California, where they're notoriously tough with the senior 103 and 112 pounders. So a 14-5 lead. We've got 40 seconds of blood time to go. They're trying to stop this thing. If Doc Concrite were here, he'd have wrapped that thing up all the way around and stuck it with pre-wrap and all sorts of stuff. So what are they doing over there?
If they can't stop it, it's not because they don't have the expertise, because Rod Rodriguez with Front Range Orthopedics is absolutely one of the best in the United States. He's served as our trainer for the Olympic team, several world teams and tours. Rod is one of the Darryl Miller here in this state, 2 of the very best in this country that we work with.
So blood time is about to expire. So let's see what happens here. Nick Adams pacing, bouncing. You can see there on the far edge of your screen. Definitely wants this thing to get going. I mean, it's not really. I guess it could be considered slightly his fault. I guess if it was the crossface that did it. So we're going to plug it, and blood time is over. They've cut it, but I think they're giving him a little extra time here.
Yeah, just to put the plug in. But I think if it doesn't stop now, that I believe they have to terminate the match.
Yeah, the next stoppage will be it. We're not going to see the coach a la Vision Quest throwing a towel or anything. So 2 minutes to go. Let's see if he can keep the plug in.
If I'm a betting man, I'm saying this match will not make it to the end.
Unfortunate, because we've seen a great effort from Nick Adams, and Wilson actually, remember, ended the period with a reversal, so not giving it up. 14-5, double leg attempt now, lifting off. Cross-facing is Wilson to defend. Behind is Adams. Got to be careful on that, and gets 2 points, so 16-5 now. One-point escape for Wilson, so 16-6. Restart, 1:32 to go. Wilson looking kind of dazed out there right now, walking gingerly. Sweep single by Adams, drives Wilson down to the mat. That was impressive.
Nice step across.
There's blood in the water now. I think Adams is starting to circle.
Yeah, figuratively and literally.
Well, I wasn't actually going that way. Now he's got the bar in the wrist again. A very basic, but still very fundamentally effective move. Mitch, how much does this hurt right now as Adams is stacking him up looking for the fall? There's the fall. So, Mitch, you were right and you were wrong at the same point, but as the fall, it didn't go the whole way, but it was because Nick Adams stacked up John Wilson with the bar in the wrist and got the fall at 4 minutes, 57 seconds.
You're assuming I didn't think it would be a fall.
Okay.
I think Adams had a little bit of a cramp in his calf. That last break in the action, he's been hobbling ever since. I think he wanted to get that over because an injury timeout would have only prolonged it. I think that was part of his plan, was to try and end it early.
That will move Discovery Canyon into 6th place.
And 135 pounds from Falcon, Richie Bailey. And from Pine Creek High School, Dick Molina.
Now here at 135 pounds, Richie Bailey of Pine Creek. We're going to have to switch our colors here momentarily. You know, we come in when we prepare for things. We see Pine Creek in green, but we've got two green teams here with Falcon and Pine Creek.
Yeah, Molina needs to stay on that leg. He tried to come off around the waist. That didn't work. That's potentially dangerous. That's a tough thing to call when a guy's got dominance and the other guy puts it there, but I tend to agree that a lot of bad things can happen when you get up 8 feet in the air.
That's a safety issue that the officials are trained to look for, and that's one they just will not let go.
I guess, Mitch, you've probably put a lot of people 8 feet up in the air. You're not exactly a short guy by any means, so you speak from experience. Bailey was the top seed. We're scoreless about a minute into the first period, and Molina was the 3rd seed. Molina a senior, as is Bailey. Molina picked up a fall over Justin Hayes of Coronado in the semifinals, while Bailey knocked off the 4th seed Seth Wilson of Fountain Fort Carson 5-3.
Yeah, this is a big match here for Pine Creek, because this is the one where, they're seeded lower. They're the 3rd seed here against the 1st seed. If they, this is one that they have the potential of winning. This is going to be a close match.
Out of bounds, restart with 34 seconds to go, first period. Here at 135 pounds, the finals of the 2010 Metro Championships, presented by Front Range Orthopedics and USA Wrestling.
Bailey's a two-time state qualifier here. I'm sure this, being a senior this year, his sights are being a state place winner.
And if I'm not mistaken, Colorado is still one of those states that places top 6 versus top 8, right?
Correct. Yep.
Good, I like that.
We got 5 seconds left here. Looks like there'll be no score in this period.
So into the first, we're scoreless with Bailey and Molina here at 135. Oh, great.
More blood time.
More blood time. Is that because of the altitude up here, guys? Because I know when I moved here, I had a couple nosebleeds, but I don't think they were wrestling related. As a matter of fact, I know they weren't wrestling related. Maybe USA Wrestling related, but
I can sure attest to that. We moved here in 2001 from Nebraska, which is darn near sea level in Omaha, and nosebleeds are quite an issue here.
well, I joked when I moved here, Mitch. Actually, I think I walked in your office and told you, I said, we're about 6,400 feet above sea level here in Colorado Springs, give or take. My dad's backyard, 8. Quite a difference. What about up there in Wisconsin, Mitch?
I don't think we ever were too concerned about it because we knew we weren't that high.
Well, the only level you got to worry about is the snow level and how high it is stacked. All right, we're back to action. Richie Bailey of Falcon in the green anklet. Ben Molina, Pine Creek. First time Pine Creek's actually worn the red anklet tonight. Already with 3 champs.
As we were talking earlier,
Clock hasn't started. They need to start the clock. Stall warning.
Clock's still not running.
On Molina, so we've got about 30 seconds. Now they'd fix it. So they're probably going to have to reel off about 30 seconds. That's about what it looked like. So approximately a minute to go. We'll have to correct it. So
That's referee Sean Billings going to the table to confer with the head.
I think they've already got it straightened out down to a minute 8.
There they go.
Yeah, 30 seconds. So, 1:08 to go. Second period, we are scoreless. Again, another period where a wrestler chose neutral. I guess they like to wrestle on their feet out here in the Springs. Or is that just a product of the coaching system out here, the style?
I think it's a lot to do with the coaching system, and a lot of these guys wrestling in the international style, if you can win on your feet, you can win in any style.
Well, you have to, and 90% of the time you have to have a takedown to win, So why not encourage it? I like the idea. Of course, we like our rolls out east too. So
people are a little slower out east, and they don't get it quite as fast. But we'll get it out there eventually.
Mr. Hall,
I'm hoping at the internet when we start using the technique videos and that to teach that you guys will get caught up.
Driving in on a single out of bounds, can't quite finish. And actually, an interesting note here about Doherty High School. I saw the artist formerly known as Katie Downing as an assistant coach here helping out. So.
Katie, part of our national team, our world team, Olympic alternate, is helping coaching here at Doherty High School. Yep.
Snap with a front headlock. He was wide open for a dresser dump.
Yeah, he could come around. I thought he'd be looking at either going, blocking me or taking the far ankle. That really was there. He was that neat.
Looked like he almost reached for the knee tap there briefly. Snapping down, 30 to go. Scoreless with Bailey and Molina. It's scoreless, but we have had at least a bit of action. They're not just standing around dancing with each other. 15 to go, second period. Of course, I might have doomed the match by saying you need a takedown to win. This could very well end up 1-0. End of the period, so we'll go scoreless. And Bailey will have the choice, and he will go down here to start the third period.
This actually, I think, puts a lot of pressure on Molina right now. Is that he's got to ride him out to tie.
We got a stall warning in here too, so
you've got to worry about that because certainly as we've seen so far, and I agree with it. I think the referees that are involved in this tournament are not afraid to call stalling, and we need to continue to have that to have action. I wish I'd seen him at the NCAA tournament.
We've had quite a bit of stalling called here in most of the matches. We've had at least one warning.
We saw a stall with a kid with a 2-on-1 wrist trying to turn, so anything can happen. I don't take that personally either.
But this is really different. It asks a lot of pressure on a guy on top to have to try to turn to win or to ride out. But
he got a half in deep. Now he's got the wrist. Oh, he lost the half. So the old wrist in half.
I think he rushed that just a little bit because he had that solid.
Riding legs, but he looks like he's a little too high, and Bailey reaching, grabbing the leg.
As long as he was under that wrist, he's okay, but now he's not.
Restart with 1:02. We got a stalemate.
That was a good stand up there. That was nice and tight. Molina could not hold on to him, let him go. Now it's really the pressure's on Molina.
50 seconds to go.
Look at Bailey, how low he's keeping his lead arm, protecting the lead leg.
And attacking. He's controlling the center of the mat, a double leg attempt by Molina.
Again, he kept his hands down. He never cleared the first line of defense. Now he's got the 2-on-1. He's controlling position and ahead. That's what you want to see. 30 seconds to go.
And control of position is going to be really hard to get hit for stalling. Under 30 to go, 28 on a restart. 1-0 lead for Richie Bailey of Falcon.
This is huge for Pine Creek. This is one that I think they need to get in order to keep the lead.
Falcon coach is wanting a stall.
A little over 15 to go. He keeps his hands down. He should be fine.
13 to go. Bailey backing up at closing distance, hanging on the head.
Being heavy. There he did not. He got underneath, but he couldn't score.
3, 2, and 1. So that's going to be it. The champion from Falcon High School is going to be Richie Bailey here at 135.
He won it with that nice stand up there, and Molina just could not hold it.
And it was about as close as Tim Young had them ranked, as a 7 and 4A for Bailey and a 9 and 5A for Molina.
Going to give Falcon 4 more team points. And let's see where that gives us in the team scoring right now, gentlemen. After 135, Pine Creek holding a 276 to 270 lead over Coronado. Fountain Fort Carson in second. You see the win by Bailey gives Falcon 4 more, but they're just behind Discovery Canyon as you had Adams pick up the fall and move Discovery Canyon into sixth.
So we're in a situation right now with Pine Creek and Coronado. You guys, we start this match. Pine Creek has 2 guys left to wrestle. Coronado, 5.
And this is a situation, Mitch, a kid you know pretty well, Tommy George, a junior coming in the tournament 13 and 3, he's picked up 4 more wins, so 17 and 3.
Yeah, Tommy was part of the Ram Wrestling Club that I had years ago. He's the last one remaining of all of those guys. He was about 60 pounds when I had him, and he's got his cousins were it's just an outstanding family of wrestlers. All of them brilliant students, but the oldest, Mark, was a 2-time state place winner, won this event. You had Tony won it. Davey was second. All of his cousins, and now Tommy's trying to win it. That'd be the 3rd George in the family, the 4th in the finals.
And the wrestler trying to stop him is Brunner Hill of Air Academy, ranked by On the Mat at 145 pounds. Now stepping around and basically took a counter situation and came out and scored 2 to take a 2-0 lead here in the early going. Actually, under a minute to go. First period here at 140.
Yeah, Tommy actually was taken down in the quarterfinals and the semifinals. Was behind in both of those matches, so I don't think he's panicking yet at this point. In fact, he's right where he wants to be.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tommy does a good job on the bottom. Tommy has come back in his last 2 matches, his quarterfinal and his semifinal. He came back to win both of them.
You know, Tommy was number 1 seed and Hill number 2. However, Hill is ranked number 13 at 5'8". Tommy currently not ranked. He did take 3rd in this event last year, whereas actually Hill was 4th in this event.
Tommy was wrestling at 135 pounds earlier this season, and he was actually ranked in the top 10 until he changed weight classes, which is why he's not ranked at 140.
Another point. That's 2 quick stall warnings on Tommy George, so a point for Brunner Hill. Now a 3-0 lead, 4 seconds to go.
And now a warning on top.
You're right, guys. They're not afraid to throw stalling out here.
You know, I'm reading in Tommy George's bio thing here, it says he wants to be a cowboy after college. I don't know if that means a Wyoming cowboy, an Oklahoma State cowboy,
New Mexico Highlands cowboy,
or he just wants to ride horses and bulls.
Well, a couple of our USA Wrestling staff members did check out bull riding the other night. I did not partake.
Well, there's a lot of wrestlers that are top-ranked bull riders in this country.
And here they go, right back on their feet in the neutral position.
Very nice drop in on a single there by Hill. Hill, a senior with 31 and 4 record right now. Tommy George, a junior, his record 16 and 3. So 2 very, very good wrestlers out here right now.
And Brunner Hill, all 4 of his victories here at this tournament have been by bonus. He has a fall, 2 technical falls, and a major decision, and builds on his lead now with a 5-0 lead. Here in the second period as we restart out of bounds. 1:27 to go, second period. We're in the finals of the 2010 Metro Championships here at Doherty High School in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Brought to you by Front Range Orthopedics and USA Wrestling. Chris Burgart, Mitch Hall, and Jason Bryant here with you on the call. Defer all the local Colorado expertise to Chris, the national technique expertise to Mitch, and I'll just take the scrubs because that's what I seem to specialize in. 1:09 to go. Second period, 5-0 lead for Brunner Hill of the Air Academy. Now with a
tight wrist and half. We've seen that a lot in the finals here.
And I got to say, I like the technique in terms of they're going for the fall here. Brunner Hill has
this is tight.
George in trouble.
Lots of time. 50 seconds to go here.
Can't really see it from that angle. It's close.
Tommy's working the arm free.
Oh, he loses it. So it's going to be 3 more near fall for Brunner Hill of Air Academy.
And he still got him in a tough position because that arm is trapped behind his back. It's awful hard for anybody to build up when you've got one arm pinned behind your back. 30 seconds to go here with the Hill now an 8-0 lead.
And I'm sure the Coronado fans are rooting for the young man from the Air Academy right now.
Yes, we are.
Hey, we're supposed to be an impartial broadcast here. Just kidding. But not really.
Brunner Hill has looked really, really good this period. Actually, he's looked great the whole tournament. As you said, majors all the way through his matches.
2 techs, major and a fall in under a minute now, working on a major decision. He's got choice.
He wants to ride him out.
He's going to take top.
Well, I think I would too. Why change that? He's been dominant on top. Why get into a position where the other guy may be pretty good? The Georges would, the whole family would throw a cradle from the neutral position.
Yes, they would.
So why put yourself there when you've been that dominant? I think you might see, Hill slide, ranked 13 and 5A. I think you might see him move up a bit in Tim's ranking after the dominant performance he's had here.
Well, he's going to have to shift the weight back down to 140 as he's ranked at 145 and tripping George back down to that. And another thing about Hill taking top is he's already forced a stall point on George on bottom, so he can score points from the top position by just continually riding tough.
It is very hard to get out of a guy with a long arms like Hill's got in a tight waist. That's a dominant position that's hard to build out of.
1:17 to go.
Going right back into it.
That tight waist comes all the way around Tommy's stomach, and we've got another stall.
Well, this one on top because he's been on the side, he's been on the tight waist, hasn't been able to do anything yet with it. So it's consistent the way they're calling it. If you're not really going for points, this officiating crew is gonna hit you for it. That's why I'm going back to my feet.
Brunner Hill on top with an 8-1 lead. Under a minute to go, 3rd period.
What's he doing underneath?
We're going to have awards following this bout as this will be the first 7, so we're halfway through, if my math is correct.
Load it! Load it!
Yep, back to the wrist.
Wrist, and looks like he's barring to the outside.
Yep.
34 seconds remaining. Now a tilt, but he's on the edge. He's out of bounds. Looks like he's close. Now he slides it in. Does he get 2? Does he get 1? Does he get a count? Well, there's 1. Okay, now we have another count. Official in the view of your screen there blocking the action. Out of bounds, so going to get 3 near fall.
15 seconds to go. We're 11-1 match. I think, straight through this tournament, Brunner Hill's probably had the best tournament so far of anybody as far as the dominance and scoring. Certainly, McElhaney had a great one also.
Definite OW candidate, depending on where they cut off the middleweights from the lower weights. They award a couple OWs here, Mitch, as you very well know.
They've got, I would say this is the cutoff when we get to through the first 7.
And that'll do it. So your champion with an 11-1 major decision from Air Academy is Brunner Hill.
From Air Academy, Brunner Hill.
At this time, they're going to hand out do the awards to the first 7 weights, and Chris will lose you for a couple matches here, so you can do what you're go coach and help your son do what you're here to do, and we'll look forward to getting you back later on.
Thank you, gentlemen. It's been an honor to work with you right up until now, and I'll be back in a little bit.
And Chris will step away. So, Mitch, it's just you and I for right now. We'll probably get Tony Black in here for a little bit.
This time, I'd like to give out a couple special awards. The 2009-2010 Underclassmen of the Year.
And when we get an opportunity here, we might try to pull in a couple of some of the coaches from our top teams here, do a little interview. As we take this opportunity to hand out the awards at the first 7 weight categories.
So there we see the team scores after 140 pounds. And Mitch, you got the meat of the Coronado lineup coming up behind us.
Yeah, we've got Pine Creek right now has a 6-point lead, but I think it's going to be very, very hard for them to hold out Coronado. You've got Coronado has a finalist at 45, 52, 60, 71, and 215. Pine Creek just has one remaining at 189 pounds.
As we present some awards here in Doherty High School. Now, has this rotated at different high schools, or has there been some repeat hosts here?
Well, we've used Doherty High School the whole time. This has been a great setup for us. It's once you get the system in place, it really works well because you've got to tie this up for 2 days. You've got the other sports with basketball, women's and men's, the scheduling. So this has just kind of worked very well. D11's done a great job helping us host this. I've got, Jason, I got a question for you because you with your experience in that out east wrestling, is this different than what you're normally seeing at a high school as far as the emphasis?
I've run a tournament. I covered high school wrestling for quite a long time, just on the Virginia level, and then I've seen some big national tournaments. But in terms of an intimate, energetic, exciting event, I think the Metro Championships here have been actually quite surprising to me. I mean, I didn't cover a whole lot of high school the last year and a half, being out in Minnesota with Wrestling 411, but going back to the Intermat days and the Mat Talk Online days, I love tournaments like this where you've got either a diverse group of teams. What I like about here is you've got schools, they're all from Colorado Springs, but typically they don't always wrestle each other because they're in different classes and such. And I always like that intermix on who's better, the 3A kid? Oh, he can't beat the 5A kid. Well, here at the Metro, you give those kids in the smaller schools in the region a chance to do that. And I like those tournaments back out east. And I mean, the Beast of the East, the Iron Man, those tournaments, the Cheesehead and the Powerade and all those things, they're great events. But I think you really find to capture the feel of what wrestling means to a community while going like this. And you've seen volunteers, families come out, and I think Colorado is a state people don't typically think of when you think top wrestling states. And I think the state tournament draw, I'm waiting to see. I don't know if I'll get to see it because of our national events, but I understand the Colorado State tournament just draws a huge crowd. And this is a state not really particularly known for wrestling.
In fact, the largest crowd for an amateur wrestling event has been the Colorado State Championships, because when they moved into the Pepsi Center, the first year was there, I believe we had close to 21,000 people. Now, I mean, I'm sure that Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, Minnesota, all of those, Pennsylvania can draw those numbers. They just don't have facilities big enough to host it. And so they sell those events out, but we've got a bigger facility. And right now, we've got, joining us right now is Chris James, the coach at Fountain Fort Carson. And Chris, you've got your team now third place this year. They were third place last year, but a much more competitive third place this year. We've got, for the first time in history, 3 teams scoring more than 200 points. I guess what we're looking at is you've been there, 5 years now?
This is my 5th year, yes, sir.
Yeah, and when you started out, it certainly wasn't to that level. What's happened for you and your staff to pull us up to be competitive? And it looks like you've got a lot of young guys too.
Yes, sir. Basically it's just come trying to change the culture of the school, changing it from a non-wrestling school to a wrestling school where I'm getting kids to go year-round to compete a little bit more on the freestyle circuit and participate in USA wrestling events. When I first got there, my first year we had 3 kids working in the off-season. Last year we had 26 kids working in the off-season. This last year we had about 48 kids in the year. This year we right now have sitting about 61 kids in our room at the moment. And so a lot of kids are buying into what we're trying to sell them. The sport of wrestling is a great sport.
Yeah, and certainly down at Fountain Fort Carson, what's really great is that we're doing this serving a lot of the military families.
Absolutely. I would say about half my parents with their kids in my room are military related, or majority of them are even retired military. So I've got a young man here today, our 3-pounder. His dad's over in Iraq right now. I've got a couple parents that are over in Afghanistan. So these kids deserve an opportunity to have a great wrestling program, something to be proud of, and especially while their parents are overseas fighting for our country, to allow us to have this opportunity to compete here in such a nice event.
Well, Chris, thanks for joining us here, and it really is great to see that step up at Fountain Fort Carson. Again, really serving. It's a great school. It's a great facility that you guys have there, and to serve our military families the way it does. And certainly, I know. It looks like you've got a solid team, a solid dual team. With not necessarily the superstars yet, but you've got a lot of young guys that are making commitment, and I think we're going to see a different. It could certainly continue to go up, especially when you got 60 guys in your room.
60 guys in my room. Only 3 seniors on the team right now. So out of 11 places today, we'll have 9 coming back or 8 coming back next year. My math is not right at the moment. Not thinking math. But so we got a lot of young kids returning. I mean, our JV went last week and competed at a varsity 4A Friday tournament. We're 5th there, so we got young kids coming up to compete, and we're getting deeper, and that's the only way we're going to get better.
Well, again, Chris, thanks for joining us. Good luck with that team in the rest of the year. I think we've got some great representation here in this tournament and at the state tournament. We were talking. We expect to see multiple state champions out of here and state place winners, and certainly what we're looking for, the first state champion from Fountain Fort Carson, or if we've got.
Well, we haven't had a state champion since 1969. The last person was Mike Allison. He was a 2-time state champion and a 2-time NAIA champ for Adams State. So that was the last. Is 40, almost going on 50 years with the program. 40 years ago for a state champ. So we're pushing for a state champ hopefully in the next year or two.
Well, again, good luck. Great job at this tournament, and then we will certainly see you at the state championships.
Yep. Thank you very much. It's been a great 2 days. Thank you.
Always good to get some local flavor onto the broadcast here, Mitch. This is the first of, well, not the first, but the second or third of many we'll be doing here at the Mat.com and USA Wrestling. And, of course, we'll be bringing you the Metro Championships each and every year. It's been 10 years. This is the first time we've live webcast these things. Our staff has run this thing for quite a long time. And from your perspective, Mitch, from an administrator, national teams director at USA Wrestling, what's it mean to give back to the community in this way?
Well, it's great for our staff, and again, like we said earlier, we were looking for a way to help out the community with the sport of wrestling. We've got a lot of our staff, that volunteer at some of the clubs, but to really step up the visibility of the sport, we've got a paid staff that does tournaments, that runs events, and so why not take our time here for a weekend, volunteer, and run one of these that really helps this community. And I'm hoping that's helped make a difference in watching this level of wrestling really step up in the Colorado Springs area.
Well, the quality of the finals, the excitement, there have been some wide margins, some falls, some great action, but it's still been exciting throughout the entire tournament. And as you alluded to earlier, my opinions on this is it's been a great day of wrestling here. Those that have been here for the full 2 days can attest to that even more. We had the World Cup wrestle-offs yesterday out at the Olympic Training Center, so a little bit of freestyle wrestling, a little bit of local wrestling. And speaking of which, those of you watching in the Colorado Springs area know that we have 2 major events USA Wrestling is hosting in the next 2 weeks. Next weekend, the Greco Kit Carson Cup, which the United States will have 4 Greco-Roman teams taking on China, Japan, Bulgaria, and Uzbekistan. And following the big one out at the training center, it's the Dave Schultz Memorial International, one of the top wrestling tournaments internationally in the world, and it's right here in Colorado Springs. So those of you in town, come on down, check out all 3 of our national teams on men's and women's freestyle and men's Greco-Roman. That is at the main gym on the Olympic Training Center grounds here in Colorado Springs. Mitch, thoughts, reflections on the Carson and the upcoming Schultz?
Well, I'm actually really excited about the Schultz tournament this year. As we pointed out before, we've got a lot of great teams coming in. Along with not only with some great teams, we've got the world champion from Egypt who's trained with us. Mohammed Ibrahim is going to be coming in, and so with, like we said, Bulgaria. We've got China with all 3 styles. We've got Uzbekistan with a great team that's coming in. So it's Japan. We've got. There's just. I think we're up to 8 to 10 to 12 of these other countries, and I'm thinking that some of them are going to just show up too. We've had that happen in the past, but the Schultz, the Kit Carson next week. with giving our national team athletes opportunities to put dual meet teams together to face 4 foreign countries is great experience, and I think if you get a chance to get out there, you really enjoy seeing it.
Underway here at 145 pounds, Jared Reek of Coronado and Jose Cas of Falcon. Reek quickly in on the half, driving Cas over to his back.
This might put her almost tied with.
This would tie it up. A fall would tie it up.
And right now, joining us for the next couple matches while we lose Chris, Tony Black. Tony is a All-American at the University of Wisconsin, multiple-time state champion, and has helped us with this broadcast before, running the event. And we're now starting. We're at a weight here where we've got a junior in Reek who's 24-4, a senior in Jose Cas from Falcon who's undefeated, though Reek is the higher seed at number 1.
Yeah, Jared, as we all know, Jared missed all of last year with a knee injury. He is back this year. Won the Metro 2 years ago. So this is his first Metro in 2 years. So
has pinned all 3 of his opponents so far. The top seed, he got a bye in the opening round, has a fall in 35 and 450. And one thing, Mitch, we noticed in his semifinal win over Austin Brown was a cross-face cradle that is just absolutely deadly.
Yeah, he was really, really tough with that. We'll see what happens here now. Where it scores 2-2, but I think Reek's going to be able to get his leg out. We'll see if they will stalemate that. He probably should just come right out and spin out and try to kick out. We've got a stalemate. We're going to start over.
34 seconds remaining. First period here at 145 pounds. We'll be wrestling straight through until the awards, rather. We're in the finals here at the 2010 Metro Championships at Doherty High School in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Under 30 to go, and both these wrestlers have picked up dominant victories on the way here. Cas with a tech fall, 2 falls, and a major decision. So nothing but bonus victories all around for these two.
yeah, which is nothing new for either of these athletes. Jared Reek, the wrestler from Coronado, currently on bottom, is ranked 3rd in the state in Division 5A, where Jose Cas is ranked 2nd in the state in 4A. So they won't be matching up come postseason, but these are 2 of the better kids in the state of Colorado at 145 pounds.
And Mitch, something we alluded to during the break, we were talking about awards, about these guys not meeting up during the season, and that's what I like about this tournament, is, you've got, how many, 3-4 classes represented in this tournament?
We got all 4 classes in the state represented, and again, we're going to run into another example of these guys wrestling in the off season, and both of these guys, one, Cas, he wrestles for, competes for the Falcon Wrestling Club. Reek has been a part of our the Junior National Cadet Program, is a 2-time USA Wrestling All-American.
Reek of Coronado on top here, starting the second period. 1:40 to go, second period, as we said, tied up 2-2. Both these wrestlers, the top 2 seeds, undefeated is Cas. Reek comes in as a junior, 22-4, with 3 falls, trying to throw in the leg. Now with the half on the far side.
Mitch and Jason, on your bio sheets on these 2 wrestlers, interesting, both list WWE stars as their favorite wrestler, as Reek picks John Cena, and Jose Cas, his favorite is Brock Lesnar, now in MMA.
Well, at least Lesnar was a legitimate wrestler.
Yeah, NCAA champion in 2000.
And all-around big, scary guy.
That is the best understatement you've had here, because that guy is a beast.
He's huge.
Drop the H. He's huge.
Never heard that. Actually, great. I'm outnumbered by Badgers now on this broadcast. 2-1 on the broadcast, 2-2 on the scoreboard. 48 seconds to go on the restart with Jared Reek in control in the top position here in period number 2.
That was a great stand-up, but he didn't really clear himself when he came up, but he's not quitting on this, and this he's got a chance to hit this switch if he can keep going with 30 seconds to go.
Grabs the leg, drives around, Still not there. Steps through the leg. Cross faces over, and there's 2 for Jose Cas.
Mitch, something interesting. We saw when he stood up there, he kind of reached back and tried to whip over. Cas has a background in judo, very much a judo throw that he attempted there, then wound up just settling for the reversal off the switch.
Now he's got a leg, actually an arm turk on the leg. He's now switched it to leg. We're not going to say anything. 4 seconds, 3, 2, 1. Time runs out in this period. Now he's up 4-2 over Rick. This is a great matchup here. Probably the best I've seen as far as being even and talented that we've had now in the first 8 matches.
Yeah, and this match is going to have potential big implications in the team race. Right away, it looked like Jared Reek was in control at the takedown and maybe looking for back points or a possible fall. Now Cas comes back. He has a 4-2 lead, and he's on top. So the tides might be changing, and I know Pine Creek is cheering for Jose Cas right now.
Hanging on the leg is Cas. 15 seconds gone by here in the third period at 145 pounds. This is the 2010 Metro Championships presented by Front Range Orthopedics. Tony Black, Mitch Hall joining me, Jason Bryant on the call here for USA Wrestling and themat.com. We'd like to thank you for taking time out of your Saturday night to join us here at Doherty High School in Colorado Springs. Got a stall warning, so that'll stop it, and we'll restart with 1:36 to go, third period. Looks like a little bit of a bump there was gotten away with on the restart. I guess they're a little more lenient with the cautions in high school than they are in college.
Well, obviously, neither one of these guys want to give up anything.
Same scenario. Yep. Reek scores with the exact same move. Throws the leg in. Cross faces hard and gets control. So tied up 4-4. 1:13 remaining, third period. Pine Creek's going to be rooting for this kid from Falcon, Jose Cas.
We've got 1 minute left. Scores 4-4. We've got an awful lot of pressure now on Reek on top because both these guys very talented. It's going to be hard to turn, but they've been warned for stalling. And if he gets hit for stalling on bottom here, which he just did, it's 5-4. Reek ahead.
And it's funny, you can hear out the background, you've got fans chanting, bottom man's got to move, and then you hear another one going, top man's got to work. It's all in the perception. 37 seconds to go. That stall point did give Reek the lead, 5-4.
Yeah, and Cas isn't doing much right now to try to get away. Now he builds his base, but his head goes back to the mat.
But, however, Reek is riding completely parallel behind him. It's very hard to turn somebody, and Steve DeLeon called him for stalling. Certainly consistent with what they've been doing. That's legitimate. You can't really get out very easy or turn somebody when they're riding right parallel on top of you.
Stands up, quickly up, but back down to his base. Reek riding tough. Underhook the seatbelt ride. Now with the half, 15 to go.
Reek should be pretty safe from getting reversed in that tight waist and under the near arm, but Cas, I don't know. Here we go.
Yeah, he faces him. He gets one, ties it up 3, 2, to his butt, 2 at the buzzer. What's going to be the call? What's going to be the call? 2 is confirmed.
You could read the assistant official's mouth right there. He said there was 2 before time, so there's the takedown.
Great finish. Cas got out, faced him, and then looked like he tried an inside trip there at the end and actually got tripped himself up. So the champion going to be Jared Reek of Coronado, and that's going to make it oh so close. Pine Creek's lead now down to 2, 276, 274. As we head to probably the night's most anticipated bout, Mitch, we got 2 returning champs here at 152. With Nick Burgard of Coronado, his dad was just on the broadcast with us, and Dan Behringer of Lewis Palmer, not to be confused with the Palmer High School here in town, but Lewis Palmer High School up in Monument, which is still in the metro area, and we're set to go. 152, 2 returning champs wrestling here at Doherty High School.
Yeah, Dan Behringer, Lewis Palmer senior, 30-0 on the year, ranked 4th in the state in 4A.
Burgard caught him in a fireman's there for 2.
Yep, Burgard, the junior from Coronado, comes out with a 28-1 record, quickly out to a 2-0 lead. He's the 2nd-ranked wrestler in Division 5A. Quickly working for a tilt here.
And there's the 2-on-1 tilt, the Mason tilt, hazard tilt, whatever kind of tilt you call it, Tony. But the 2-on-1 tilt gives them now a 5-0 lead.
And he's going right back to a tight waist, deep tight waist there to try to get that tilt again.
Berghardt looking to become the 16th two-time champion. We had our 15th with Josh Martinez of Pine Creek earlier in the night. Berghardt, last year's champ at 145. Behringer, the champ at 152, if I'm not mistaken. Tony, you want to check that for me?
Yep, that's great. He did win.
Right.
We've got, no matter what happens here in this match, we'll have our 16th two-timer.
That is just great insight, Mitch. I did not even put that together. Actually, believe it or not, I didn't even think about that. But that's why you're here. That's why we've got T. Black here.
Yeah, that's at Wisconsin Public Education shining through right there, Jason.
The other part is Behringer. This is
Sam Saraki, our intern, just heard you say that. It's like, what?
Another Wisconsin Public Education.
Oh, cradle.
Yeah, but he's awful high here now.
This doesn't look like good position for Berghardt.
He jumped that a little soon.
If Behringer can get the left arm off his head right there.
20 seconds to go here in the period.
There's the reversal.
Behringer, one of several of the Behringer family that have wrestled in this Metro Championship for Lewis Palmer. There's probably, they've had David, Tom, Ben, Pete. They've all wrestled, but I would say since the beginning of this tournament, there's been a Behringer wrestling.
And Colorado Springs wrestling fans, next year, the next 4 years, you're not going to have to go far to watch Behringer wrestle. He'll be going to the Air Force Academy in the fall.
That's a different scenario when people talk about staying home and going to college. It's a little tougher to go to the Air Force Academy and stay home. So these kids got to be pretty bright to get into the U.S. Service Academies, the Army, Navy, and Air Force Academies in Division I, and actually even the Coast Guard Academy in Division III and the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy. So our service academies all come together at the All Academies. But Behringer going to stay right here, as Tony said, and wrestle for Air Force and Coach Joel Sherritt.
No, Behringer actually looking to do the same thing to Berghardt, a deep, tight waist. We'll see how long they'll let him ride right from behind.
Well, that'll answer that question, Mitch. Kicks him out, now 6-2 lead.
Nice double leg attack. He's got to get off that whizzer, take him down, and now we've got a match. It's 6-4 after being down 5-0.
1:13 remaining, second period.
Let's see what Behringer's strategy is here. If he's going to try to get the tilt, he got a takedown with relative ease there. Let's see if he's got a minute left in the period. Berghardt's not doing much on bottom. There's the stalling call.
As if on cue, Tony.
And sometimes it's hard to tell because if you're really being dominated, there's a difference between stall.
Oh, now there's a 2-on-1 tilt.
It's close. There's a one. There's
and he
the
got the count.
There's two of them. He's holding. Ref's holding two. Nothing yet. Well, yes, two yet, but
he's got two. He won't award it until he comes off that same tie. Now it will be. And we've got a 6-6 match. Decline giving the 2 points. 6-6 with 27 seconds to go in this period.
This is real important for Berghardt to get an escape at the end of this period. To have a lead going in the third period. Equally as important for Behringer to keep this 6-6 going in the third period.
And he's going to try to make it more than 6-6. He's got at least two in short time with 7 seconds to go in the second period. Now an 8-6 lead, so down 5-0 is no problem for Dan Behringer of Lewis Palmer High School. Now I don't want to sound like an idiot, but I think I already have. Behringer or Behringer? I should know that.
Behringer.
Like Tom Behringer. You know,
Major League.
Jake Taylor.
Taylor.
Tire World. Okay, anyway, we're not going to get into the movie quotes here. It's just like every day in the office.
That was a Lou Brown coming through right there, but...
Listen, Tony, I got a guy on the other line talking about some white walls, okay? And the restart here, 8-6 lead for
7
Behringer.
seconds to go here. He's got to try to get an escape, like Tony said, to get that point. But I don't think he's going to get it there. Behringer routed real. He floated on that very well here on that roll.
He kept his hips with him during the roll, didn't let Burkhart create space.
And Behringer with that lead, he's going to right back to his feet.
Neutral will start.
He switched from a double to a single, cut underneath, and got the takedown.
Unbelievable. This kid has just not quit since getting down 5-0. Now leading 10-6. 1:43 remaining. 2 returning champs here at the Metro. Dan Behringer leading Nick Burkhart.
I know the Air Force Academy assistant coach Sam Barber was here last night watching Behringer wrestle. Just caught his first round match, was impressed. I think he'd be equally impressed as to what he's seen the last 4 minutes of this match. Looks like he's trying to build his lead again.
Well, it looked like he tried the 2-on-1 tilt, and Burkhart was kind of waiting there. If he got loose at all, was ready to step over. But also Colonel Billy Walker here from the Air Force Academy earlier today.
Mitch, are you thinking that Burkhart's going to give up a stall warning here with his head on the mat?
Well, we'll see. I think, the difference with it being called is that you've got Behringer really getting close to turning some. So as long as there's some action, they kind of look away from the stalling. But there you go. And your point was well taken, Tony. The key to that is where his head was.
Yep, head on the mat. You're really not looking to score. Obviously, the ref, D, knew what was going on, so he rewards Behringer for trying to work for the turn.
30 seconds remaining. Looking at the half end. Is he going to get a count out of it? Did not look like he had almost exposed him momentarily, but 24 seconds go, an 11-6 lead for Dan Behringer after trailing 5-0 in the early going.
Yeah, this is a really impressive performance by Behringer because Nick Burkhart is tough. 28-1, a junior ranked number 2 in 5A.
Yeah, and he was down 5-0. Kept his composure and came back and outscored him 11-1 after that.
Very impressive here.
Cuts him free, 11-7, your final. And your champion from Lewis Palmer, Dan Behringer, now the 16th two-time champion at here, the Metro Championships.
Now we run into a scenario that makes it a lot tougher for Coronado. 3 people left to 1 for Pine Creek. If Pine Creek wins that 1, Coronado's going to have to win all 3 of theirs, or get some bonus points.
Well, it's a 2-point spread right now, so
certainly Pine Creek is favored in their last match.
well, I wouldn't like to think, but I believe based on what I saw earlier here in the semifinals with Ethan Olson of Coronado and Dakota Gould of Fountain Fort Carson, I'd have to think Olson here is the favored wrestler at 171. Yep. Excuse me, at 160. Getting ahead of ourselves. We're going to see another Coronado kid at 171. But in the red is Olson, coming in 22-4 to the tournament, picked up 3 wins, all 3 by fall, so 25-4. A win here would give Coronado the lead in the team score. They're trailing 276 to 274.
And certainly Olson hugely favored in here as the number 1 seed, and Dakota Gould unseeded coming in.
Yeah, interesting. Unseeded brings a 22-11 match or 22-11 record into this match. So he came into the tournament 18-11, yet still ranked 13th in the state in Division 5A.
I tell you one thing, they do like the tilts in this state. Does a little reminiscent of Pennsylvania, the years spent there.
And certainly, even after this match, 171 in New Metro Burak, very, very highly ranked in the state. And so again, they're going to go back to back here with 2 of their toughest individuals.
Yeah, Burak is favored for sure at 171, as is Olson here at 160.
Well, Gould was in a tight match in his semifinal against Dylan Geiger of Mesa Ridge. And it was 10-3 was the final, but it actually was closer than the score was indicated because Gould did score 5 points late in the 3rd period to really break that match open, while Olson has 2 second-period falls and then a first-period fall over A.J. Simon in the semifinals. So it's a 2-0 lead, 47 seconds remaining here in the first period at 160 pounds. Ethan Olson of Coronado. Potentially dangerous. Not a call you typically see on your feet too much from that position.
No, maybe a little quick, but he was worried about having that arm trapped and no posts coming down. 39 seconds here, 2-0 with Olsen over Gould.
There's back points.
Yep, he's got that. And when you're out front, parallel like that, it's tough for a guy to get off.
That might be the end of the match, Mitch.
Yep.
Looking for the fall is Olsen.
That's tight now.
Yep, they're looking for 16 points right here with the win and the pin.
20 to go 15 now. 2 seconds is what it takes in high school.
Gould holds this off.
There's the fall. 154 if period number 1.
And with that, do we have a new team leader?
We do have a new team leader. That will add 6 points to Coronado. We'll give you a score update here momentarily.
280 for Coronado and 276 for Pine Creek as we stand.
That is correct.
So Nathan Burak can lock this tournament up right now for Coronado with a win with bonus points.
Coronado High School,
and he's coming into this again very heavily favored because you have the number 1 seed, second ranked in the state, Nathan Burak, with the number 7 seed, ranked 18th in 5A, Josh Schoenberger. And in the semifinals, Burak hit a headlock. I wrote
sweet.
down. Yeah, he said it was sweet. You had to add another E because it was that sweet.
Well, it wasn't just your desperation head and arm type of throw. He set it up. It was quick. It was, in a matter of seconds. But the time he grabbed the arm, and by the time his opponent was planted flat on the mat, was about a quarter of a second. It was that quick.
It was not a head and collar tie. He was on a wrist when he came off, so it wasn't right out of that tight tie.
Is it the tie that Nathan Burak's older brother Micah, I guess, perfected or worked on a bunch when he was at the Olympic Training Center as a resident athlete 2 years ago and last year?
There's a nice drag double. He does it. Nathan's got a really good arm drag into a double leg attack. That's pretty standard for him there. In fact, we're looking now at trying to be the third Burak to win the Metro title with Gabe. Could have been the first 4-timer had he not gotten sick. So we're looking at what this would be the 5th, 6th, something like that title between the family.
Gabe was a 3-time champion. And actually Gabe and Micah wrestling both at UPenn, both nationally ranked. Got a couple more years on the typical college freshman though.
Yeah, both of them took advantage of staying around here, training at the Olympic Training Center to get better developed, and it shows. They're coming in now, both ranked nationally at the NCAA Division I level, getting an outstanding education at UPenn.
Coached by Rob Eider, and the former stomping grounds of our U.S. national freestyle coach, Zeke Jones.
As well as Brandon Slay.
Oh, yeah. But the thing is, you think Slay, I think Texas. I don't, because I didn't watch him wrestle in college. I didn't really start going to nationals until after he had moved on.
Brandon Slay was an NCAA runner-up twice, losing to one of our great wrestlers of all time, Joe Williams, who won 3 titles.
And Mark Branch, Oklahoma State, 2-time NCAA champion.
Head coach, University of Wyoming. Doing a great job with those guys.
I believe Mark Branch was the only NCAA champion to come in to the NCAA tournament with a losing record.
8-9. 8-9 as a freshman when he won it, as a true freshman.
So there's hope for everybody.
And you just hear the crowd behind us as Cody Bickley just announces that Coronado has taken the team score lead, something we informed you about 2 minutes ago with 15 seconds left in this first period. 2-0 lead for Nathan Burak. over Josh Schoenberger of Fountain Fort Carson. Mitch had a chance to talk to their coach during the break, and seems like that he's done a lot. I haven't been in the area to know what that program was before he arrived, but I'm guessing he's done quite a good job there.
Yeah, and Burak, again, another example of those guys that take advantage of getting better in the spring and summertime. 2009 FILA Cadet All-American.
At 171, but definitely looks has the facial expression of a schoolboy wrestler right now. Definitely a baby face right now, as he will grow into the weight. Just a junior coming in, as we said, 27-1.
Yeah, Mitch, you talk about the way that Burak has taken advantage, and that didn't look good, by the way. I think he hyperextended his elbow.
And it was after the whistle, too, so we'll wait to see what's happening. Oh, trainers are over there, and he's shaking his foot, not in the good way either.
Yeah, on that, tried a little roll, and his right hand posted, and I think he went over his right hand. His hand stuck, and his body kept going.
And it was after the whistle had blown, too, so it was more of a momentum type of thing. It wasn't during action, and that's the unfortunate thing about it. You can see him breathing pretty heavy. It's definitely in some pain. You've got that almost that anticipation, Tony. I guess you probably, I don't know, you two probably went through more wrestling injuries than I did. So, what's going through Nathan Burak's mind right now?
Well, I certainly
other than some things you probably can't say on air.
I certainly don't want to even guess with regard to that. But elbows always scare me a little bit when people hyperextend their elbow. It's a tough injury to get healed from in any short period of time.
Yeah, and I think, Coronado at 215, Riley Ehrlich, he's probably testament to that. He's back after an elbow injury, but with Burak not moving in about a minute and 45 seconds, he's down to 10 seconds of injury time. He hasn't really moved in almost 2 minutes now. So this is not just a small time little pain. I think this is an injury, unfortunately.
Yeah, we've got
trainer shaking his head over there.
With Dr. John Pack, I believe, is over there with
Rod Rodriguez.
Rod Rodriguez is with Front Range Orthopedics. So these guys, have worked at the Olympic with all the Olympic teams. And if they're saying he's not going, they know what's up. This is not a very good scene right now for Nathan.
Yeah, freak situation. He hops up, and that's going to be a victory by injury default for Josh Schoenberger. And as we said, this isn't a match that's going to give you any real seed points at state. So, why risk it in a match that's, not going to impact anything down the line. So, with the 2-0 lead, your winner is Burak had the lead, and Schoenberger of Fountain Fort Carson is going to pick up the victory. Probably not the way he would have wanted to. A victory over Nathan Burak would have been a nice notch on the resume. But that's going to give 6 points in the team score for Fountain, so they now have 213.
And with that, we'll get Tony, you'll step away. Thanks for helping us up. We'll get Chris to join us back here for the final couple of matches, and I guess that keeps that team race with it extremely tight right now.
Yes, it does. Jason, Mitch, thanks for the offer to join you. I'll hand it back over to Chris Burkhardt now.
Nice to have you not work a camera for me this time either. We got our intern Sam Saraki helping out with that. She's done the camera work for us the last 2 days at the OTC and here, so big thanks to her. And yes, that's a name you do recognize, and that's let you put 2 and 2 together. Underway here in the first period. Tanner Kiley of Fountain Fort Carson, Connor Stevens of Pine Creek. Both these kids won their semis in relatively close fashion. It was 7-6 both ways. So Stevens, your top seed, coming in with 3 wins on the tournament, giving him a 13-2 mark. While Tanner Kiley picked up win he's 31-6 already, so he's wrestled a lot more matches. He's the number 1 and number 3 seeds. Stevens was the 1 seed. No score here the first 30 seconds at 189.
Stevens was a runner-up in this event last year. He's currently ranked 3rd at the 5A level.
At 189 pounds. So again, the team score situation just got a little bit more interesting. And here's a scenario. If Stevens wins, That would again give Coronado, it would give Pine Creek the lead.
And Stevens,
actually, it would tie it up, believe it or not. It would tie it up going into the last match at 2:15 with the rather imposing Riley Ehrlich of Coronado. So they need a bonus here to actually take the lead. Otherwise, they're just going to tie it up.
And Stevens actually going to Adams State to play football. Part of that football team at Pine Creek that's been outstanding the past few years. They've really, that school did not really start that long ago, and now has developed into one of the best sports schools that we've got in the area, and certainly leading the way in football.
Adams State, the Grizzlies, Division II program in Alamosa, Colorado. I guess what, Mitch, about 2 hours from here? 2.5? Big, oh, wow.
That will be a penalty for
that's
a slam. Certainly had to bring him down under control.
Wow, that's recovery time, and that was, I say if that were our governing body's style of sport in the freestyle realm, that would have probably been a match-ending fall, but this is folk style wrestling, and that was he landed powerfully right on his neck, and it was just the collective I mean, I don't know how to describe it, Mitch. That was just he certainly straight up planted him.
Yeah, he certainly did an outstanding job getting him off the mat, but when you have somebody off the mat, the rule's very clear. You have to bring him down under control and safely, and I don't believe there was many people that doubted that would fall in the category of a slam.
So that's going to get 1 point for Tanner Kiley. I mean, I will say it was.
I don't believe
took him for a ride.
I don't think he was looking at anything intentional. I think here's a guy that
gets fired
just
up,
exploded, and really doesn't grasp wrestling. All that just exploded and took him down without really thinking of the whole process there.
They're going to bring the trainer back over just to check his eyes real quick. I guess they're making sure he's not concussed or anything. Kid's up on his feet, so.
Yeah, certainly, but they do have to check in.
Yeah.
It's
trainer says he's okay.
Trainer says he's okay. Everything's reacting good. We're going back out.
No harm, no foul. Well, one foul.
Kiley certainly seems to be ready to go.
That had to hurt. I think he's going to be a little sore tomorrow. End of the first period, a 1-0 lead for Tanner Kiley as a result of taking one for the team, if you will, or just, all right, I'll get planted, give up a point. He defers, and Stevens will start down in the second period. Here at 189 at the 2010 Metro Championships presented by Front Range Orthopedics and USA Wrestling.
A nice explosive stand up there, but a good switch off to the double.
A nice little freestyle move there, too. All that in the first 4 seconds of the period. Stevens trying to crawl out.
And certainly looking at Stevens, you can see, while he'll be playing some football, very powerfully built. It really explodes well out there. Is not looking to advance any technique, but you can certainly see that athletic ability and his ability to get up and explode. We'll see what kind of an offensive attack he has there. Had a nice single leg the first time. Need to bring it down under control this time. Yeah. Good double leg there by Kiley, but
we're looking for maybe some freestyle confirmation, 2 on the explosion.
Actually, I would have given him 3.
Yeah, feet to back, yeah. 3-point danger actually is the term, but that's freestyle, and we're still here. 1:10 remaining second period at 189. Tanner Kiley of Fountain Fort Carson and Connor Stevens of Pine Creek. Big match here for Pine Creek, as we alluded to earlier. A win here will tie it up. Oh, had a cramp, maybe knee buckled, a cramp, and
boy, if it's a cramp and he's got a period and a half to go, you start cramping, there's nothing he's going to be able to do to prevent that from keep happening.
Like in football where they can give you an IV, give you some fluids, get you some electrolytes. No, he's out there on his own.
I don't know if it's a cramp or he's just walking gingerly on his right knee.
Actually, they're looking at the hamstring.
Yeah. Maybe it is a cramp.
Well, that or if you pulled it, there's not a whole lot. If it's a cramp, he's going to have problems. If he pulled it, he's going to have problems. I'm not sure what we're going to see here for an attack out of Connor Stevens here.
Well, how about we'll start with a snap down?
Yeah. I'm not sure that he's capable of going under. We're going to see it because he did do that on his first attack. Right now, if you do have a cramp back there, if it's pulled, you are going to spend most of your time trying to snap the guy underneath.
37 seconds to go, second period, and snap again.
Yep.
We're in the front headlock out of bounds, so using his power to his advantage. Pretty stocky kid.
Let's see if he sticks with that. One, it's working well for him. Two, if he does, it may tell you that the hamstring's bothering him a lot more than he'd like to have it.
Definitely trying to stay up top. Hanging on the head, 20 seconds remaining, second period. Here at the 2010 Metro Championships at 189 pounds. Nothing yet.
Well, he set him up for that too, because Tanner had that arm out when he shot. Stevens tried to take him over and whip him over. We'll see what happens now, because now we're in a situation where Kiley's going to go down to get that point.
That'll put the pressure back on Connor Stevens to take him down if he can't hold him here.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what he can do here, and if he's on his feet, he should hit that switch. It's right. Absolutely a smart move. Don't take your one, go for the two.
Absolutely. Keep him under control.
And if he's, keep going. This is where Kiley should get this. Keep circling right there. And if your hamstring's bothering you, you're going to have a hard time pushing up in this and explode back. We're now up 3-1, a minute 30 left in the third period.
That's going to take a lot of his explosiveness away, but he's got to his feet now and away for the one.
So now at 3-2 lead for Tanner Kiley, 1:15 remaining.
And with no stalling warnings on anybody here, if in Kiley's situation, he should be the guy heavy on the, just like that, heavy on the head, keep the wrist, make Stevens go underneath you. Controlling the wrist there. Now he's in on a nice single leg.
Looks like he slipped off trying to maybe kind of throw one of those chest lock throws, but not going to happen. Looks like we've got a restart with 44 to go. A 5-2 lead for Tanner Kiley, scoring a reversal and a takedown in this period for Fountain Fort Carson. Their singlet's kind of fitting with the Captain America theme to them. Restart, 40 to go. 5-2 lead. And this would wrap it up for Coronado.
That was a very good job by Kiley, just riding loose with the hands, not staying tight, looking out for that roll. When the guy rolls, just let go of him.
And giving him room to move as well.
Now he's got the two on that 2-on-1 tie. 5-3, a takedown can tie this up. That's a mistake by Kiley walking into him, but he could not penetrate. He couldn't drive anymore.
This gym loves it. I guess it's it's mostly Coronado fans in here right now. So 7-3, 5 to go. Tanner Kiley cuts Stevens loose. 7-4, 2-1. Fountain Fort Carson's Tanner Kiley, going to be your champion at 189 pounds. And with that, Coronado is going to clinch the team title.
That's a big win for Kiley, being the number 3 ranked guy in 5A. He's ranked number 16, so you're going to see a change in that one.
Just a great job by Kiley. He wrestled very smart, especially after the injury and the slam in the first period. Came back. You hate to lose or win a match like that. He came back, fought through it, and look at the emotion between him and his dad. Awesome.
There's not much doubt he could have walked away with that on that slam. And most people would have understood that. And so it's great sportsmanship to not do it that way. And you're right, that's not how you'd want to win. It's not getting you better prepared for a state tournament. He came back out there, and that win right there has got to do an awful lot for somebody's confidence. Coming in, 30-6, winning, taking the guy who's ranked number 3 in 5A. You're going to see some adjustment there in the rankings, and this guy's a lot better prepared now for the state tournament series than if he'd have taken that injury default.
Absolutely. He did a great job, came back, fought through it, and he put it back on the line. He didn't have to, but he did.
And here we go with our team scores. It's locked up Coronado 280 with one more to go, leading Pine Creek 276. Fountain Fort Carson picks up 2 more victories here in the finals to bring him in a strong 217 points in third. Air Academy, followed by Winefield, Discovery Canyon, Falcon, Mesa Ridge, Rampart, and Lewis Palmer rounding out your top 10. And we'll go to the finals here at 2:15.
The 217 points that Fort Carson has would have won this tournament at 3 or 4 times over the years. So this is, really 3 very strong teams right now going into the state tournament series.
And right now, 2 points on the board for
Jared Goad of Classic Academy, who's ranked number 2 in the 3A.
They switched the colors on me again, Mitch.
Yep, Riley Ehrlich is not ranked, but there's a little story behind that, explanation behind that too.
Well, if you see the wrap on Riley's right arm, Riley had much the same injury as Nathan Burak did. He had reported that he was not going to be able to continue. With Rich Rodriguez taping him up and getting him ready to go, he's back on the mat. Tim Yount had taken him off the rankings. He was ranked in the top 5.
But you can also tell her that did affect that shot. Man, because he really was not able to extend that arm and hold that leg.
No,
I'm sure he could have.
Nice roll there, though. Reversal down 4-1. Ehrlich now with a chance to tie it up. It's 2-2, so 5-4 now. The lead for Riley Ehrlich of Coronado. 35 seconds remaining here in the first period. Now, interesting aspect, Mitch, we were talking about the Classical Academy, and it sounds kind of odd if you're not from Colorado Springs and you're watching here nationwide on themat.com, but it's, I guess, one of those, the kind of the artsy schools, I guess, is how the best way to describe it.
Well, it's a private school here. It's a great educational school. It's also, like we talked about before, here we've got a 3A guy in the finals against a 5A. This is a lot of help for a 3A guy to get prepared for a state tournament.
Probably not going to see anybody like this throughout the course of the conference or regional, whichever it is out here. I have to do more homework here on the Colorado Springs High School thing, but it's been fun bringing the Metro here to you fans around Colorado Springs and the nation and the world, for that matter.
Now, Chris, is this the first tournament that Riley's been back since he hurt the arm?
Last Saturday at the Arvada West tournament in the final, he had injury default with that elbow. This is the first time he's been on the mat since the injury. Riley chooses down. He's very comfortable down there. It's awful hard.
5 points he pulled out of that.
Absolutely. It's awful hard for him to get a takedown with that arm. He's doing the best he can and in a better spot underneath.
Well, he was up 5-4. Was actually in a tight bout in the semifinals against Danny Stout. Next thing you know, fall. So
same type of roll as he hit Goad with. He won in the semis. The same type of roll. Put the arm in on a tight waist. Riley locked on it, hipped him over.
I'm not sure I wouldn't just take the optional start and put him right back on his feet as to put him in a position like this. But
from Goad's point of view, that would have been the way to go.
Yeah, you see chops it down, and there's the elbow again. And this is the third straight match we've had an injury stoppage. And with Coronado having this team title locked up, what do you think here? You think it might be wise just to...
Well, we'll see how, if it's sore or if he re-injured it. I think Rod's going to have an awful lot to say here.
Well, he's seen it before, as you were explaining.
Yeah, talking about Matt Brickle there, the coach. They're discussing this over on what they want to do.
It's 5-4 here in the second period. We got an injury time. 1 minute to go in that injury time. Riley Ehrlich of Coronado leading 5-4 over Jared Goat of the Classical Academy. Second to last match here at Doherty High School in Colorado Springs.
Rod seems to be buttoning him up there. Hopefully he can get back on the mat. We've got about 3 weeks before regionals. With the team title locked up, that might be a smart call.
We'll see here. It just depends upon if it's sore, if it can get injured some more. Rod's, again, he knows what he's doing. Coach Brickle understands this is 3 weeks prior to the state tournament series, which is, when you're ranked number 2 in the state as Coronado is, you're in the hunt for that team title.
And that'll cut the injury time. 20 seconds used. 20 seconds remaining. A 5-4 lead. And that's one thing that when we started on top, we're worried about kind of coming around the chop and chopping your opponent down on how much that would impact him. Before I even had a chance to say it, it was stopped for injury time as a result. So here's the restart. 5 seconds into the second period, 215 pounds. We got a locked hands, and that's going to be it. So didn't give him much time for the free move, as people would call it. Or we call it out east, at least. Free move. Mitch, do you ever use that terminology?
No. Actually, I wouldn't call that terminology.
What would you call it then, Mr. Hull?
I would just call that, yelling out, telling the guy he's got a free move. But here's the hard part again. If he can't get that posted initially to get turned, he's got no strength to use that arm for his roll.
Definitely.
All he can work off is momentum on this. And, if he, again, now he's getting his hips up, he's got a chance with your hips up.
Hips up, lifts the leg.
Yep.
Reversal.
With the leg split, he's got him in a tough position.
They're too close to the edge.
He's got to pull him. That's right. He's got to find a way to pull him on there. And he's working on it. They'll give him a little time to do it. You got a minute left in the second period here. Now the score, Riley Ehrlich's got it up. He's up 10-4.
Is that right? I don't know.
I think it could be.
He was down. He was up 5-4. Yep, that would be right.
And the penalty point, and then a reversal and near fall, and that's a smart move right there. He's going to optional start. I think he's just going to let him go. Now the case is Jared Gold's got to come after him. Riley doesn't have to get underneath there in that single leg and extend the arm. He can just stay in good position and make Gold go after him. We'll see if that's what he's going to do here. Yeah, again, control a tie position.
Well, stepped around there.
That's clearly a mistake on Ehrlich's part. He has no need to score. That just puts it back to what it was. And again, a mistake can go. But you don't want to get caught underneath there, especially when the guy doesn't have to. But now he's got him in a tight position now. And a lot of time.
22 seconds ago, second period. Ehrlich looking for the fall. He's close. There it is. The fall for Riley Ehrlich. And that will just put icing on the cake for Coronado and a team championship. Now 286 points. Going to win this one with a 10-point cushion over Pine Creek.
And I guarantee you, Coach Bricko was thinking very, very hard of pulling him out just earlier when that elbow when they were taping it.
Well, with a little inside information that I have, we were thinking of pulling him out even earlier than that. We did not want to mess him up, have his elbow cause him any trouble with the regionals coming up so soon. I'm glad he was able to finish it up. That was a tremendous win for him. Very happy for Riley.
And Terrell Stanley of Widefield and Keith Carnes coming up now for Rampart. Wait to see which colors who's who here. Oh, wow, we got it right. Hey, guess what, Mitch? Oh, whoops, that's the wrong weight. There we go.
And we're coming in here with the third seed, Terrell Stanley, the fifth seed, Keith Carnes from Rampart.
Well, Stanley
is only a sophomore.
Stanley with 3 falls, 25-7 on the year with a 15-second fall and 2 first-period falls late in the first period. He is in the navy and, I guess, sky blue colored singlet, while Keith Carnes giving up a lot of size in the solid blue with gold trim for Rampart. 20 seconds in the first period now. Stanley with the double overs or the body lock by Carnes with a back trip. Now Carnes is going to take him down to the mat for 2. So that's exactly the same move that Stanley had pinned his opponents with. Only
look out for the roll though at the heavyweights.
Yeah, I guess the short shoulder roll, if you will, kind of the I guess you know what we call it, the jelly roll is what we call it out east.
That's tricky though because he's rolling all of his back here.
Does he have the arm though? Is it legal?
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
He rolled his way to a pin in the semifinals.
A lot of time, under a minute to go. Terrell Stanley of Widefield.
And I think he's going to get him here. He's got 45 seconds.
That's a lot of wrestler to try to keep off.
A lot of time and a lot of wrestlers, right. This is the first time in the finals we've seen Coach Gary Folks there from Widefield, who over the years, they've been here 10 years. He's probably been sitting in the finals more than anybody.
They've won it 3 times. There's the fall, and Widefield with a champion. And you know what, Mitch? That 6 points is going to jump them into 4th place.
So we should pretty much have the top 4 or 5 scores all set then.
Well, if you give me a chance to work on this mobile production thing here, we've done a lot of new things here at USA Wrestling in the last couple weeks. We're greatly proud of them. Actually, you know what? That's not going to jump them. Where's that going to do? Nope. Actually, the win earlier in the tournament by Brunner Hill was enough to actually keep Air Academy in 4th, so I am incorrect. But it's going to add 6 points, so it's now going to be 149 for Widefield. We'll get your final scores here momentarily. So we will give it to you now. Here's how we end up in our team score situation. Coronado going to win its 2nd Metro Championship with 280 points, followed by Pine Creek. Fountain Fort Carson with 217. Air Academy in 4th with 151.5. Widefield with 149. Discovery Canyon in 6th at 123. Edging Falcon, who is in 7th, with 122. 8th place, Mesa Ridge with 116.5. 9th place, Rampart with 114. And in 10th place, Lewis Palmer with 91.5. And the question was, beforehand, who was going to win it? Actually, that's 286. So, wow, I need to update my score. You know what we should do? We should do this as I narrate everything we do. Let's try this again. There's your updated team scores. 10 points. 286. You know what? It was flawless until that moment. You have to ruin my moment, Mitch. No, just kidding.
They were within the Pine Creek has the overall record for team scores. They had 291 last year. So within basically a finals match.
Yep. And Coronado, Burak doesn't get beat or doesn't lose by injury default.
Yeah, no, this was the great tournament for Coronado, great tournament for Pine Creek and Fountain Fort Carson. All 3 of them scoring, having outstanding tournaments, getting ready here for the regional tournament, the state series.
Coronado and Pine Creek still have a duel. It would be the crossover duel between the 2 pools. Those 2 will fight it out for the dual championship here coming up in about 2 weeks.
So with that, for all the folks at USA Wrestling, we'd like to thank Chris Bernhardt and Tony Black for joining the broadcast. For Mitch Hall and all the staff at USA Wrestling, you've been watching the 2010 Metro Championships presented by Front Range Orthopedics here on themat.com. I'm Jason Bryant. Good night, everybody.
From Discovery Canyon High School, Nick Adams.